Hi, Katie and Taylor and I here again for the week, and so we got that exciting thing. Now, yesterday you got Justin's email on the DeBow situation, and or not situation, but opportunity. As I say, it's a key moment in ASB's family um, evolution of our amoeba, right? Because we keep evolving and changing over the years, and this is the next step or one of the next steps. So, we always talked about that. I never really said I don't want to get into production. I just want to sell stuff and let somebody else make stuff, stick to your knitting. But in 2000, when Rob bought into the idea, and I told you that, and when we had the video on his passing, Rob and I built quite a friendship and relationship because he bought into the idea, very forward thinking and very aggressive in looking at the production side. Still the only location or production facility that we have in our industry that we work with that has every production capability under one roof, and we are integrated with them with our ACEs. So we did that in 2000. Dion and I met with Rob when we started this concept or idea with Rivers End and Rob. Fact is, one of the leadership team over at DeBow actually worked at Rivers End and remembers that day when we started that road years and years ago down with Rivers End and DeBow and American. But because of that integration, that technology is key. As far as I was concerned, we didn't want to lose that. We didn't want to lose control of it. We didn't want to have another company come in and take it over, and then we have to work with them and try to figure something out. And maybe they wouldn't be our friend or ally, right? The beautiful thing is today, as I see it, in my world of ACEs, and the reason that Rob and I started together in this idea in 2000, we did do work in 91 when he started in production, when Phil Stump started with us, and we got into the promo world or the wearable world. But anyway, the whole concept was being able to do one at a time and not have inventory and just sell and automate it. And so we're always looking at how do we upgrade the technology and invest in technology, and that's what we're still going to do. But the benefit was, for 25 years, I asked Rob, let me have an American person on site that all our American people will call, not bugging you and Jenna or Robin or anybody else, but we'll take the need and we'll go through where it is and give them an answer back. And Rob was always hesitant because he thought other competitors of ours or distributors or companies would want the same thing. I never ever believed they would, and they didn't, and they won't. But anyway, we need it, and so now we have it. And so there is, Justin said, we will have an American portion of the business that will be our people, our contacts, and you treat it and contact just like you do the home office or anywhere else. It's American. And we work it through the system, figure out what your needs are, take care of it, and we'll grow and expand that as we need. Now, that being said, the other part of the business is transactional. It's all the other wholesalers and our competitors out there, or distributors that are in companies that we compete with. They need suppliers too, and so that part of the business will exist and it'll be for them. But I know one of the people in the North group asked when we first talked about this, well, what about all our other decorators? You're going to make us move stuff to DeBow? No, we're not making you do anything. It's about program selling in my world. My world is that if you're going to program sell, have that electric fence around your customer, you need this relationship in this process. If it's a transactional thing, it could go anywhere. You can work with Rodriguez or anybody else that's out there in the Minneapolis market or somewhere else that's a very good decorator, very competitive, and they will do whatever you want, because that's their niche in the business, which is most of the people in the trade. But if we have that software, we can integrate and upgrade that software. American can take that software around the country. we can find another place that's got a embroidery screen and direct digital or whatever we need that is kind of a full service shop or close. And we can say, hey, we want you to put the software in for us, for our ACEs and everything we do. Now, if you want to use it for some, the rest of your customers, whatever, fine. But you're going to pay a tick charge. You're going to pay a license fee. You're going to pay something. But we get what we want, and we can control that situation. So I think this is, from that side of the coin, I think it's a nice step. And as we grow as a company, it's a nice evolution of our amoeba to take it to the next level. And something I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. But who knows? If I live any longer, I might see a lot of other stuff too, right? But yeah, we were over there this week. Jenna and her mom Robin and her husband Brian and their team met with Bill and Sarah and Justin and I and Alyssa, and we were meeting with their first shift and second shift. So we introduced ourselves, told them everything was the same. We're not going to change anything. You still got a job, which they all felt really good about, which we feel really good about, because we all need each other, and they're good people. And so we want to continue down that road and embrace them and make them feel like family and grow. So that's the exciting part of this week. It's nice to have some great stuff to bring to you, right? But you already got it. So now I'm just giving you reinforcement. So now we'll do the fun stuff and some little stories. But before that, if you know anybody in our industry who's done customer service, has good people and computer skills, and is looking for a job, let us know. We need extended services. We're always looking for good people, and we can put them to work. Mariah's got some opportunities, and we're in that cycle now where we always want to have a pipeline and have new names and people that we can talk to and set them up, and so that when we need them or get them trained, they're ready. Now, the last one is a story. Katie's going to attach not only Justin's email that went out about DeBow, but also this here, creativity unlocks business potential. And it's kind of an article, now that we don't have 12 prides, as we call them in the old days, is that newsletters every month, we only have 4. We fill in with these little stories and reprints, and so this will be attached. So years ago, one of Ripley's famous Believe It or Not comics pictured a plain bar of iron worth $5 and pointed out that if you forged the iron into horseshoes, it would then be worth $10.50. If you used the iron to make needles, it would then be worth $3,285. And if you turn the iron into watch springs, the value soared to $250,000. There's a big difference between $5 and $250,000. And the difference is applied creativity. Now, I'm going to make you read the article because it's a great story about Steve Schuster and his wife. Steve has got a bunch of theme restaurants in Minneapolis and around, and also Disney World. He's got a number of restaurants in Disney World and things that he does there. He's got the Hot Dog Hall of Fame at the Universal Studios in Orlando. He's got 5 theme restaurants at Walt Disney World in Florida. But anyhow, he's a kid at heart. And he talks about bringing in kids that are special heroes, who are kids that have some kind of medical challenge. And he gets all kinds of people involved, the firemen, the policemen, in his restaurants, and he has a great time. And they'll be having lunch, and all these superheroes show up, and the special kid has a great time. But anyhow, you read that story, but the theme or the idea and the whole idea of the story is to get us to understand kids tend to think that way as far as how to make the current world amazing. Rather than dismissing ideas because they probably won't work, they keep imagining the uninhabitable. Don't tell them they can't. Tell them how to make something a reality. Don't stifle their creativity. Think about the merits of their plan. Don't discourage their dreaming big. Let them know the sky's the limit. In other words, Kids have this figured out. Creativity is fun. It produces so many benefits. It can make things better. It can make people happy. It can lead to bigger and more exciting things. Whether used for profit, innovation, or growth, there is no downside to creativity. Creativity can turn the ordinary into extraordinary. And two last fun ones before we leave until next week. Whatever you do, always give 100%, unless you're donating blood. That's from Bill Murray. Life is not a fairy tale. You lose a shoe at midnight, you're drunk. Unknown. Have a great weekend. Hugs, peace and love to you and your family. Have a great weekend. And especially prayer and thoughts for all of our sales associates and vendors on the West Coast in the fire. We have been fortunate in all the sales associates we reached out to. Everybody's okay. And things are okay. They know people, they've got family, they got a lot of people that have lost their place. Even Robin DeBow was talking about she grew up, went to school in California and Beverly Hills, and then moved back to Minnesota. All her friends said, "You're going to move back to Minnesota and marry a farmer?" It didn't happen. It was not a farmer. But anyways, her original home, which was pink, and then a lot of pink ones in those days, is now gone. And so her best friend from high school texted her and let her know that the fire had taken their house. And so it's happening. It's touched a lot of people, and it touched everybody that we know. We have up to 10 vendors that have been affected that I saw the list from our vendor program or PFP side. And I think Sarah worked with Ron Robinson and pulled the list together, and also track the fires and our sales associates to reach out to the people that way to find out how are you doing. So we're so glad to hear that a large number of the, well, vast majority of the American family is okay. It's a terrible event. It's not going to be cheap. And man, it's not like the Canadian fires where it's woods. This is actually people in homes and not cheap homes. So again, be thankful for what you have and we have, a day at a time, and God bless.